How's it going, everyone? This is Midnight Strike 3625, and I am sick today. That's right, I'm not feeling the greatest. That's why I didn't record anything yesterday. I was actually going to record both videos, but as I am feeling just a titch better, I'm going to be recording the Iced Earth review. Yes, specifically Iced Earth's Plagues of Babylon, the brand new studio album that dropped last year. Well, not brand new, but their newest, their most recent, I should say. And this is going to be an updating of my review, or a revisiting, if you will, much like I did with Tremonti's All I Was. So, my opinions on this album haven't really changed much, but I did make a ton of errors that need to be rectified in my original review. For starters, the title card that I used in that review featured the old singer, Matt Barlow. I called the newer singer Stu Blockman instead of his real name, Stu Block. So if you want to call me out and say I didn't do my research, fine. But I did. I just fucked up on the names a little bit. So I'm going to be rectifying that in this review of Iced Earth's Plagues of Babylon. Let's jump in. So overall, this is the second studio album with singer Stu Block. And I gotta say, when you listen to Dystopia, you know, front to back, cover to cover, and then listen to this album in the same fashion, you're wishing for the faster stuff. I mean, this album is a good album, but it features a lot of restraint. It features a lot of songs on here that don't necessarily go the full mile like Dystopia did back in 2011. Now, Dystopia is admittedly my favorite Iced Earth album at this time of recording this review, but that may change in the coming future, in the coming months, as I get deeper into their discography. So, with Iced Earth, though, seems like they've got the thrash element down. They had they had some death metal elements in their really early stuff, but right now it seems like they're trying to go like a cross between Judas Priest and, say, Metallica or something like that. Just very thrashy with some really high-pitched vocals, and they pull it off quite well. They've got a lot of progressive elements in this as well, with the title track being the longest song at 7 minutes and 47 seconds, and as we all know, the length of the song doesn't make it progressive, but the elements in the song do. So pretty much it just goes from one thing to another. It doesn't really repeat that much with the exception of maybe the chorus every now and then, but it is a very progressive song, so I do like that. Democide is another one. Coincidentally, it's the next one. This is my favorite song on the album, and it was my favorite song on the album all the way back in 2014, January to be specific, when I reviewed it first. And it's just an awesome song. Shows how well Stu Block has control over his voice, and it's just a fast-paced rocker. I think it's not the shortest song on the album. That would go to the pointless outro, which is just them talking, so I'm not sure. Overall, though, this album is pretty decent, but it doesn't level up and match the previous success of Dystopia, or at least the sound, I should say. Dystopia sounded a lot better, and Dystopia featured a lot more tight cohesion with the song structures themselves. Like, for example, Spirit of the Times and Resistance. These songs may be good on their own merit, but they just don't really go well with the rest of the album, in my opinion. And the culling, while I do like the song, I feel like it's too slow for its own good, and it just kind of drags on. I mean, I like the sound of it overall, especially the chorus. I mean, they definitely do a good job of putting that together, but just the length of the song just feels very, very contrived, I should say, even if it's the shortest song, well, semi-shortest song on the album. Two of my other favorites are Peacemaker and Parasite. These ones are just pretty much in-your-face, all-out rockers, and they definitely put Iced Earth's formula to a new meaning. Now, I was kind of disappointed with the fact that there wasn't an Anguish of Youth style song on here, where it just pretty much takes everything that Iced Earth was and turns it upside down. This is pretty much just straightforward Iced Earth, and they're not really trying anything new, much like they did with Dystopia, and that's going to factor into my rating as well. Overall, though, I think it's a decent album. I think it's a good album, but it doesn't necessarily go up there with the greats, I should say. It's not a 9 out of 10, it's not a 9.5. I'd probably still stick with my rating of 8.5 out of 10, just because of the fact that it doesn't really do much to set itself aside from previous Iced Earth materials, and it just seems like sometimes it's very contrived in nature. That's really my only complaint about it. There are tons of songs on here to enjoy, and if you're an Iced Earth fan, Well, it's 2015. You probably have this album already, so I don't need to tell you to go out and buy it. But if you want to get into the band, I would recommend probably checking out either Burnt Offerings, Dark Saga, Something Wicked, or even Dystopia. Dystopia is my personal favorite, but once you move on to the Matthew Barlow area, you might find it a little hard to move forward onto Stu Block just because they have radically different voice styles, or vocal styles, I should say. So with that, you might want to start with Stu Block and then work your way backwards, I should say. And even their first two albums have two different vocalists, so that's kind of different. I've actually never heard their first two albums. I just started with Burnt Offerings, so whatever. 8.5 out of 10. It's a good album, but it's not amazing. This is Midnight Strike 3625. Keep calm and rock on.